Namaste and welcome to Alpha Mind Power channel. Today we are going to talk about college life. So it sounds very interesting, right? Because in the last few months I have been doing a lot of counseling for people studying in colleges and having difficulty in finding friends. It is not about studies. They don't talk about studies. The studies are okay, they're going on. But most of them have this problem that I'm not able to find a good friend. I don't have any friends. I feel very lonely. Sometimes it is 3 years a degree course, or sometimes it's 4 years. Sometimes if it is medicine, it's 5 years. And in the very first year, most of them become quite frustrated. And then they don't know what to do, and then they lose interest in studying. So then they come for counseling and they say, I'm not able to go to college, I don't find it interesting. And the parents are so worried because they would have paid a lot of money to get that particular university or particular college, to get that particular seat for their son or daughter, and they want to see their child becoming a proper degree holder or an engineer or doctor. So everybody's dreams are there. Everyone has their dream. But then this child also, as he or she enters college, there is a dream. But somewhere along the line, they get frustrated. So this video is for you. If you have a problem like this, please watch this video. And in the counseling sessions, what I have seen is, in the first year itself, many students get frustrated and they lose interest in studies. For some of them, they manage to go through the first year, and then during the second year, they get totally depressed. They say, I don't know, I really can't bring myself to go to the college. And for some of them, it's like 2 years are over and I'm in the third year, but I am totally frustrated. I don't feel like studying, I don't feel like doing. I was really a bright student in school, but now I can't do anything. And the parents are totally upset. So let us try and understand why this happens. If you understand why this happens, you will be able to balance your mind properly. I'll give you a few points. Okay, the very first point is, people are new. Now if you take school, it's like a second house for all of us. Many of us, we have studied from 1st standard till 12th standard in the same school. So it becomes like another home. You know all the teachers, you know all the students. They are growing up with you, or you are growing up with them. And you know the place. The place is so familiar. You know every nook and corner of your school. So wherever your class is, it doesn't bother you because you're very familiar with the whole thing. So people, you know the people, everybody you know. So you are very comfortable there, but that comfort is not there in the college. When you enter the college, what happens is all the people are different. You don't know any of them. And they all come from different schools, from different areas, maybe from different cities also. So it becomes a little difficult, as if you are in a crowd where you don't recognize anybody. That is the truth. Some students have 1 or 2 friends along with them, but not everybody. So if you do not have anybody coming from your school, or someone known to you is not there in the same class, then you feel that you're lost. That is one very important reason. Second reason is, the place is completely new. Now if you take the school, whether you've studied from 1st standard to 12th, or even few years in a particular school, you become very familiar with the school. And at that younger age, very quickly you adapt. And you are very much used to it and all that. But when it comes to college, mostly if it is a university or even a college, the campus is much bigger than a school campus. Generally it is, I'm talking generally, it is like that. So when the campus is big, there are many buildings, and sometimes for one class you are in one building, for another class you have to go to another building, the canteen is somewhere. So it's all spread out. And you feel a little overwhelmed. How am I going to manage all this? I can't understand where things are, how things are working here. It's all so different. So that makes you feel that you're completely lost. So that is another reason, second reason. And third reason is, some of the students may have formed small groups among themselves. Like, it could be people from the same school. Maybe 2 or 3 people are there from the same school. So definitely they get along together more easily. So they form a small group. Or there are maybe a few 4 or 5 people who are coming from the same area. So they travel by the same bus. So that way they become familiar. They form a small group. So that way some few groups may be there. If you have somebody, well and good. But if you do not have anybody like that, you do not have anybody from your class, from school, and you do not have anybody coming from near your house, So then again there is no one who is familiar. So you feel a little bit left out. Fourth point, you start missing your school friends. That happens almost to everybody. There can be no exception. See, in school, whether you were very close with people in your class or not, you may not have been too close, you may have had only one or two close friends, but all other people are very familiar. So that feeling is there. You go to class, you know where somebody will be sitting. This one will be here, this one is in front of me, this one is behind me, I'm sitting here. So, you know, everything is familiar. But when you go to college, you miss all those people. Whether you like, you might have even quarreled with somebody in school, but you will miss even that child. So missing people with whom you were familiar in school, that's another big point. And then the fifth point, the way of teaching is totally different. See, there's a huge difference between a school and a college. In a school, a teacher will still ask you whether you understood after explaining some mathematics, let's say. Some sum has been explained, then the teacher will ask, did you understand or not? If you have any questions, you can ask. So you can ask there, you can get your doubts cleared. But in college, somehow it's totally different. The lecture comes, gives the lecture and they go. Most of the time, generally, I'm speaking again in general, most of the time it's like that in a college. So you become a little bit, overwhelmed again, because you say, I don't know what that lecturer did. She came, she just gave a lecture and went. I didn't understand anything. How can I go and ask her? So again, in the beginning, it becomes a little difficult to get used to the fact that you have to study on your own. You have to do work on your own. So that way, the way in which teaching is done, it differs from school to college. And it is rightly so, because you are expected to do your own studies also. So again, getting used to that takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of time. So that is also there. And lastly, you can take it as point number 6. There is this feeling that this whole phase is temporary. Because if it's a 3 years degree course, you know very well that whoever is there, you're not going to see them all after 3 years. After 3 years are over, each one will go in their own way. And probably you will not meet any of them. So that feeling is there, even if it's a 4 years course or even if it's a 5 years course. As the course proceeds, you know that once the course is over, you're not going to be very much in touch with everyone who's there now. So that feeling also is there in you, and it makes you feel that it is futile to try and make friendships, to try and create a bond with somebody. So maybe that also pulls you back a little bit. That is also another thing I have seen. So these points tell you what is reality, practically what happens in college, why you are not able to make very deep, you're not able to have a deep friendship with people. This is happening. I'm talking about this because I've been seeing this often in the past few months. So young girls, young boys, suffering because they don't have a close friend in college, because all their close friends were in school. But let me tell you, college life today, as it is today, not when we studied, it was very different. But today, it's a kind of transitional phase. Till you study college, you are considered only as a student, not as an adult. Although by age, you might be an adult, you are not considered to be an adult. You are considered to be an adult, you are treated like an adult only when you finish your studies and you start working. When you go to work, that's when they look at you as an adult. And for you also, once you start working, you look at people in a different way. Then you create relationships with certain people. You have friendly relationships because that's what you need at that time. So all that happens there. But college period is a transitional period. It's not something which is going to have a very permanent impact on your life. Of course, the studies are there. We are now not talking about studies. Studies, you must study very well. You should do very well. That's there. We are talking more about the human relationships in college. And to end this, I would like to give you one point which you can hold in your mind. You can rise above all this. You can be happy and enjoy college life if you don't keep looking for something which is not there. And the school friends that you are missing, let me tell you with my own experience also, even after we finish college, later on in life also, you still have connections, you still have bonds, you still have a good relationship with your school friends, not with your college friends. It's very rarely you pick up a friend from college and then you become very close. It doesn't happen so easily, and that's what I've been talking about now. But school friends with whom you have been in touch for so many years, with whom you have grown up, you cannot forget all of them at all. And even after you finish college, after you start working, if you see, many of us are still in touch only with our school friends. That's what happens. So you don't have to worry too much if you do not have a very close friend in your college. Be friendly with everybody in general and keep everybody on that note where you can say hi, bye easily, and any help you need you can ask. You can also help somebody. That's it. Nothing very deep. If it happens, well and good. But if it doesn't happen, don't worry. There's a lot of time in life to create better friendships. And the school friendships will also be there. Those relationships are something you can cherish, nourish, and carry with you for your entire life. So don't worry too much about not having close friends in college. It is not happening easily these days. So it doesn't matter. You just move on, finish your studies, and then you can become a... See, college time, and that's a very important point I must tell you. The period that you're in college, you must study well, get your degree, get your good marks and all that. But more than that, that is a period when you mold yourself. You're neither an adult completely nor, a younger child. You're in between. So that's a period. You're not just a teenager at that time. You're not a fully grown adult. Although by age you might be, but still. So that is a time when you mold yourself, your personality, your characteristics, etc. What kind of person do I want to be when I finish my college and then actually step out into the world? You can think about that and you can work on those lines. So have a very good time at college and don't worry about anything.